So Manchester United do it again. They are extending their club record of 23 Premier League games unbeaten away from home. 3-1 against Spurs is one of their heroes, Scott McTominay.
Scott, it was emphatic in the end, but what is it about this team? You are the comeback kings.
Yeah, obviously the way the game goes, we were going in at half-time frustrated, but the message was clear from the manager: keep calm. That's what we're saying to the players: just keep calm. There's no need to panic. We're only a goal down, and we've been in this position before, so we know that we have good character in the team. We have good players who want to take the ball against a really difficult team. So brilliant win.
I mean, it's quite incredible. 28 points from losing positions.
Yeah, sometimes that's the way football goes. You know, we have to start games better. The manager reiterated that to us the first 30 minutes. For us, our standards was not good enough, and then after that we played much better. We had more control in the second half, and we dominated the whole second half, to be fair. So yeah, as I say, brilliant win and nothing but positives in the second half.
Were you driven on by a sense of injustice as well for the goal that was disallowed?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of talk about that, but the referees have to make decisions, and that's part and parcel of the game. I'm personally not a fan of VAR, but that's part and parcel of the game that we're playing now. So for us, it was a case of keeping calm. It was obviously a goal. The referees obviously made a mistake, but that happens. Everybody makes mistakes in life, and that's part and parcel of it. So yeah, nothing bad to say.
Can you afford to be generous about it now, because obviously you got the result you wanted, but at the time, were you seething?
Yeah, obviously at the time, you can't accept that. For us, it was total injustice, as you say, but you just got to get on with the game. You can't let that dampen the way that we were playing towards the end of the first half, and for us to come away with 3 points at a really difficult game was pleasing.
Yeah, conceded 6 earlier in the season, 3 points and 3 goals today. The equaliser was important in that dominating second half performance. Well worked as well, Paul.
Yeah, very, very much so. I think you could tell, obviously, Man United were pushing, moving Tottenham about. You could just see Son there as a holding midfield, and it's a great one, Cavani. You'll see it again in a minute. And Federer, I've been very critical of, managed to get a goal and score in the box. But for me, this is Tottenham defending deep. This is Son, your holding midfield player. It doesn't make sense to me. You talk about Mourinho's organisation and putting people in the right positions, poor. And where he gets dragged out, Cavani does ever so clever. He sees that Aurier's gone, and he just kind of sneaks in behind Rondon into that little space. And it's a wonderful ball there. And once it goes in now, this winds me up. They all set up, put hands up offside. They stop running. Fred keeps moving, and he gets a goal. It's OK saying offside. You've still got to keep running as you go saying offside, Gaffer.
Look at the three of them reacting. They're relying on VAR. They're trying to... Modern players are having to sort of rely on VAR, and they've got to get that out of their head. If VAR steps in at the end and says you're offside by, fractions, so be it. But you can't rely on it. Their hands are going up. They've got to do the job. Like Paul said, they've got to be... They're in a solid position, and then suddenly it just all goes from there. Yeah. And that's how they defend. You can still put your hand up, but as you're saying offside, you can still be running to make your position. 3 Tottenham players have just stopped, and, Fred goes and gets his goal. Couldn't miss, but, it's poor defending from a Mourinho team who expect to be organised, and we've seen so many mistakes just from little details. It's about details that are costing Tottenham at the moment, and that should be something Mourinho should be doing. We can't look away from the quality of the goals, though. The goal was quality. It was all one touch. It was all one touch football.
And the second one.
And the second one, superb. Lovely little bit of skill. That Spurs are in a decent position defensively there, but this, when you got a little bit of a genius here, this nutmegs. After that there and that ball in from Greenwood is wonderful, and we'll look at it again. Aurier doesn't get the chance to come inside. Look, Dyer just sort of goes deep too early. Really goes deep again, and he's looking for Pogba. But look, first time ball comes in, you've got to be goal side. Aurier can't get back in goal side. And there's no better man than Cavani on the back post on a diving header. It's a super goal. Look, little nutmegs, a whipped-in pass from Greenwood, who was excellent the minutes that he was on the pitch, and thoroughly deserved 2-1 ahead.
This is what we want to see. This is what we've been crying out for, not just ex-Man United players, but Man United fans. Quick, decisive football.
This was Cavani at the other end.
This was Tottenham's best move of the game, to be fair. Onto Pogba, onto Cavani, and listen, it's all about inches. If that goes in, Spurs are back in the game, and they ride their luck there, Man United, but thoroughly deserved it.
I think they should work on that, but at the other end. Get a little bit fortunate there. Yeah. But, Spurs didn't deserve anything in the second half. They just weren't good enough.
And Mason Greenwood, you're both a big fan of.
I like him. I think he's got 2 wonderful feet for such a young kid. I thought this is magic from Pogba. I thought it was excellent man of match in the second half. But the kid can just shift it both ways. Yes, should Louis save it? I'm not sure the gaffer thinks maybe differently, but this is what you pay your money for when you talk about Pogba. Greenwood does well, holds his distance, bang, bang. Too easy, Reguilon goes past him, too easy. And from this side, it's near post. I think he's got to do better, Glenn.
I think I think in slow motion it looks like, oh, he should save that. And you say goalie shouldn't get beaten near post, but he's trying to cover both areas. And that's from 7 yards. He's hit that with a lot of power. For me, he's got to be in the England squad, this boy, because he does what he's done today. When you put a sub on, if you need a goal for England in the Euros or United, it creates chances for himself, for others, and he's a finisher. And I think, you know, he might not start, but if you want to change the game, make a difference, son, go on and win the game for us, he's your man. He's ahead of some other players that might be ahead of him going into the squad. But I think there's a specialised position for him coming off the bench.
So Spurs in front thanks to that Son goal at half-time, but that does not tell the story of the first 45 minutes. Let's get straight into it. Paul, did you see any reason why Manchester United shouldn't be 1-0 up at this point? I
didn't at the time. I mean, this is the first time Man United really looked like they were going to do something. It's a wonderful run from Cavani. Seen it time and time again, and in those positions. But when you look at it from this point of view, I think it's a foul. As much as I hate to say it, I think it's a foul. I think he's actually moved his hand or flicked his hand into his face. Was it accidental? Maybe, yes. But does that mean it's not a foul? I don't think so.
But he pushes his hands out, I think, in my opinion. But Son's trying to grab him first. I think he's just trying to hold him off. I'm not sure he's really... But there is contact made there. My point, and let's put another spanner in the works, if he thinks that's a foul, he's got to be sent off. It's a second yellow. He's been booked, isn't he, early in the game? So I don't understand that either, whether he's totally forgot it because he's got...
So you're not happy with the goal being ruled out, then?
Well, listen, in football, as a footballer...
Too right he is. Too right he's happy.
No, well, I am.
I know he's happy. I mean, with the interpretation of the decision.
I'm not 100% happy, no. I don't like... that. You know, the rules are the rules at the moment.
And if you've done that in a competitive midfield issue and the referee comes up to you and says that's a foul, are you as understanding as you are today?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, you're an excellent player.
Well, the thing...
Go on.
Yeah, but when you're in possession of the ball... I mean, Gaza would have been sent off every week then because he held people off. And if we're changing the game that much... Paul, you used to hold people off like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, if he's took a look and then he does that on purpose, that is different. But for me, Son has actually tried to grab him first. And as a player, you're just pushing him off.
Yeah, I understand pushing off, but he actually flicked into his face. And what you go back to, say, is it a foul? Yes, it is a foul. Is it a yellow card? It's not a yellow card offence for me, Gaffer. It's a foul, but it's not a yellow card offence. OK, let's see what Dermot Gallagher thinks. We've spoken to you quite a lot this weekend, Dermot. What is your interpretation of that?
You could have saved me coming on, Steve. I think Ince's done it all for me. I think it's a foul. I think it's a foul for exactly what Paul says. I think he flicks out. I think there's interesting process as well, in so much as when it happened, the VAR checked it immediately for a red card. Well, I don't think it's a red card. I think it's careless. So it's not a red card. It's not a yellow card, as Paul also alluded to. So the game goes on. The goal's scored. They check the goal. And then they for the offside, they then check the attacking phase. And that was the start of the attacking phase.
So, Dermot, sorry, he's actually made contact on his face and the foul's been given, the goal's been disallowed, and you're saying that's not a second yellow card?
Yeah, the thing is, Glenn, there's 3 stages, and there's careless, reckless, endangering the safety of an opponent. Well, it's definitely not a red card. We all know that. It's then, is it careless or is it reckless? Well, I think it's careless. I think he's flicked out. He hasn't meant to catch him. I think it's an accidental clash, but being accidental doesn't stop it being a foul. And I think that's where we are. If you see here, he's flicked out, he's just caught him, but there's no malice in that. There's no brutality in that. It's not reckless. It's an accident, but it's happened, and it is a foul. OK, Dermot, this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer... watch this from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who thought his team had taken the lead at that stage when he was informed utter disbelief and shock on the face of the Manchester United manager. And then that was compounded with the same player, of course, Son, giving Tottenham the lead, with a good move from Tottenham's point of view.
It was excellent. I mean, it's been a poor game, let's be honest. Let's be brutally honest, it's been a poor game. Look, they put a few little passes, patterns of play, great ball in there. That's a wonderful layoff from Harry Kane. And then there's a spare man, which we'll go into in a minute, but it's the first time Spurs get three strikers up top, right up against Manchester United defenders, which causes them problems. Moura does well, he's onside, and it's a really good finish, Paul, isn't it?
And from United's point of view?
As I say, I mean, you've got to be disappointed. I mean, there's nothing in the game at the start, but, you know, as the gaffer alluded to before, you know, the likes of putting Rashford on that right-hand side was to do a job against Reguilon, Pogba on the other side, and the only time they switched off, they get punished for it.